Have you ever looked at someone at the absolute top of their game and just wondered why? What drives them to be so obsessive? Or, for that matter, why do we do things that, when you stop and think about it, seem completely illogical? Well, today we're cracking open the book Hidden Games to find the secret logic hiding behind some of our strangest behaviors.
I mean, think about it. You've got LeBron James, who's already a legend, still relentlessly practicing his free throws. Or someone like the chess grandmaster Bobby Fischer, who was so obsessed he literally had a chessboard rigged over his bathtub just so he could keep playing. It feels like some kind of superpower, right? But what if I told you it's not a superpower, it's a game? And look, this isn't just about geniuses and superstars. It's about all of us, every day. Why do we learn to love things that are kind of difficult, like bitter coffee or really complex music? Why do we feel compelled to donate to a GoFundMe for one person with a sad story instead of a big charity that could save way more lives with that same money? And why do entire cultures fall in love with spicy foods that literally cause us pain? On the surface, these things make no sense, but they're all clues to a much deeper game being played.
So, to solve these puzzles, we need a new way of looking at things. And the authors of Hidden Games give us a fantastic tool. I want you to imagine you're putting on a special pair of game theory goggles. They let you see the world in a totally different way.
And don't just take my word for it. As Andrew McAfee says, these aren't just any goggles. They're like X-ray specs for human behavior. This whole idea reframes game theory. It's not some complicated math thing just for economists or military strategists. Nope. It's a lens for seeing the hidden strategies we are all playing all the time. So what do these goggles actually show us? Well, they reveal that behind pretty much everything we do, our surface behavior, there's always a hidden game going on underneath. And this isn't a game we're necessarily playing consciously. It's a game with deep-seated incentives and unwritten rules that have been shaped by thousands of years of evolution and social learning. The first layer these goggles peel back is the difference between what we call a proximate explanation and an ultimate explanation. A proximate explanation is the immediate reason, how something feels. The ultimate explanation is the deep, functional reason, what purpose it actually serves. So we might say we like spicy food because it tastes interesting, but the ultimate reason is that cultures in hot climates, before refrigeration, learned that spices were great at killing off foodborne bacteria. Now, this is the really cool part. You might be thinking, hang on, I don't walk around calculating the ultimate function of my lunch. And you're absolutely right. We don't have to. Evolution and culture have done the hard work for us over countless generations. Think about the Inuit people. They perfected the design of the igloo without any formal training in physics. Or ancient Mesoamericans, who figured out that treating corn with alkali unlocks its nutrients, which prevented disease centuries before anyone had even heard of vitamins. They found the best solution without even knowing they were playing a game. Okay, to really see this in action, let's look at one of the most beautiful examples of a hidden game. And for this one, we're not going to look at humans. We're going to look at the animal kingdom. Here's a puzzle that even stumped Charles Darwin for a while. For almost every single species that has males and females, the ratio at birth is shockingly close to 50-50. You might think, well, duh, so everyone can find a mate. But that's actually not right because most species aren't monogamous. So what is the real game being played here? It's a brilliant game called the grandchild game. See, the real evolutionary goal isn't just to have kids, it's to maximize your number of grandkids. So imagine you're a parent in a population that has way more females than males. What's your best move? Have a son, of course. He'll have tons of mating opportunities and is likely to give you way more grandkids. But if everyone starts having sons, the population eventually flips, and now there are too many males. So what's the best strategy now? Right, have a daughter. This back and forth pressure always pushes the ratio back to that 50-50 sweet spot. And that stable point, that perfect balance where nobody has an advantage by switching their strategy, well, that has a name. It's called a Nash equilibrium, after the famous mathematician John Nash. That 1-to-1 sex ratio is a perfect biological example. It's the point where evolution has zero incentive to push in either direction. It's just stable. And this shows us a really important truth about these hidden games. The equilibrium isn't always what's best for the group as a whole. It's just the point where no individual can do any better by changing their own strategy. It's a kind of beautiful, selfish logic that ends up creating a super stable and predictable system. Okay, so we've seen how evolution plays the game with animals. That's cool. But let's bring it back to us. How can we turn this into a practical tool that you can actually use to make sense of the human world, at home, at work, you name it? Here it is, a simple 4-step framework for using your new game theory goggles. Step 1, spot a behavior that seems weird or irrational, either in yourself or somebody else. Step 2, ask the big question, what's the hidden game here? Step 3 is the most important one. Look past the obvious stuff and find the ultimate incentives. What are the deep rewards we're wired to chase? Things like status, trust, resources. And finally, step 4. Once you know what the prize is, you can start figuring out the rules and signals of that particular game. Let's run a quick example. Puzzling behavior. Someone buying a luxury watch they can't really afford. Okay, the hidden game isn't about telling time. It's about signaling status. The ultimate incentive? To get access to better opportunities, maybe better mates, or just to be accepted in a certain social circle. And what's the #1 rule of this game? For the signal to be believable, it has to be costly. It has to be hard to fake. Or let's take it to the office. Why does that one coworker always have to speak up first in every meeting, even when they have nothing new to say? The hidden game is signaling. They're signaling engagement and ambition to the boss. The incentive is a potential promotion, and the rule in a lot of workplaces is that visibility gets rewarded, sometimes even more than quiet, steady competence.
So here's the bottom line. Once you start wearing these game theory goggles, you can't stop. You start seeing the hidden logic absolutely everywhere, in how people date, in office politics, in why you love the things you love, and even in your own supposedly irrational habits. And that leaves us with one big question. Now that you have the goggles, will you ever see the world or yourself the same way again?